There are advantages to applying layer styles to layer groups, but if the objects in the group overlap or if they're masked, you might be surprised at the results. So I've created a layer style here. It's just a simple drop shadow and a stroke. I'm going to start with the top images and select all three layers and then click to apply the style. We can see that the style's been applied to all of the images, and if I select the top left image and reposition it, we can see that it acts as expected, where the drop shadow from the layer on top is cascading down onto the layer below because of the stacking order. Same if I move the top right image here because it's lower on the stacking order in the layers panel. If I reposition it, it'll go underneath that middle image, and the middle image will cast the shadow down on it. All right, let's close those top images for a moment. And on the bottom images, instead of applying the layer effect to each layer individually, I'm going to click and apply the style to the layer group. Now everything looks the same until I select one of these layers and I drag it on top of another layer within the group. So what Photoshop is doing is it's treating all of the layers within the group as if they were merged together, and then it's going to apply the effect on top of that. So just keep that in mind. If your objects on your layers within your group don't overlap, using a single layer effect can be really efficient because if you need to make a change, you only have to change one effect. But if they overlap and you have something like a stroke or a drop shadow, you might not get the results that you're expecting. It's also common to get unexpected results when you're adding a gradient as part of your style. So let's take a look at that as well. I'll return to those top images here, and I just want to select the top left image, and I've created a style that I'm going to apply to it. So I'll click on it, and while that does add the gradient overlay, and in fact, did you notice when you click on a style, it actually replaces any other styles that you had applied to that layer? I'll undo that. And if you hold down the Shift key and you click on a style, because this style only has a gradient, it will add the gradient to the stroke and the drop shadow, as long as I drag and drop it on top of that layer. But let's double click on that gradient overlay to bring it up in a layer style dialog. And I'm going to change the blend mode here to normal because I want to show you that the radial gradient doesn't appear in the center. And that's because this layer has a mask applied to it. So if I wanted the radial gradient to be centered, I'd need to go to the blending options and uncheck the option Transparency Shapes Layer. Now it will be centered. All right, now I know this ruins the photographs underneath it, but I'm actually going to leave it that way. Click OK, and then I'll right click and I'm going to copy this. So I'll copy the layer style, then I'll select the other two layers, right click again, and then choose to paste the layer style. We can see that the gradient is centered in each one. Whereas if we scroll down to the bottom images and I right click and I choose to paste it to the layer group, now it's going to put the gradient in the center and radiate out from there. So as you can see, while it can be more efficient to add a layer style to a group, you just have to be a little bit careful when you're applying layer effects such as the gradient overlay, as well as be conscientious if the layer content within the group overlaps.